My cameras are set up. Nope, that's not it. There we go. There. Now we're actually capturing chat as well. We'll find out here. And where's my YouTube? There we are. Sorry about all this. It's standard. We're getting up and running. And I don't know if things are going because I just added more things to the system here. What do we have? Oh, it says I have a live stream up and running. We will see if this works. Came up there. Yes, we have that up and running. So I have one more thing to set up with the system here. Doesn't matter how quick we get things going. I got a new monitor about 30 minutes ago, so I'm just working with this. There we go. We are there we go. Zoom action, and this is the right name? What am I on right now? What's up, main has not changed. There's one that has changed, and this is there we go. Done. Hopefully that is up and running and seeing folks. Hello, Gregor. As always, I am running with trying to get things up and running. Well, I have the workstation new. I now have on here, see if it pops or anything else. This is the Wacom tablet, which I just got set up last night. The reason I have the Wacom tablet here is I installed the ZBrush Core that came with that. So that software is there. I just am trying to grab, let's see, a few more things here. Here we go. I'm just getting this out on Twitter. As I mentioned, I got, well, not just one. I have it, I have two new monitors set up here, so I can work away, have my OBS Studio on one monitor, figure out what's going on there. If I want to share a screen with what's going on, I can do that as well. That will be over on this monitor here. And finally, over in front of my work desk, I have my main monitor where I normally have things showing. So slowly getting a studio going up. This is a very poor camera right now. Its replacement is hopefully arriving today. I hoped it would be there yesterday so I can install it, but I guess they have up till Friday. So we're slowly getting that hardware looked after. Now the other new stuff here, let's see, I have the Wacom tablet, I have monitors now, I have ZBrush now, I have a glass of apple juice here that I can sip on. There we go. I can proceed with that. Now the other stuff that's been going on, and do I have it? I have been experimenting with wood. And I don't know, as I said, this camera doesn't give us the best detail. This is off of Thingiverse, and it's called Board Frog. And got up there, great. And then I had a nozzle jam right at the top of the eyeball. Only something like 2% of the print left when it failed, which is frustrating. I really questioned the quality of this filament. It came in just labeled wood. It came from Fox Smart. I don't know what kind of brand it is, where they got the filament from. Some of it, the filament I can bend. Sometimes you just give it a little bit of pressure, it snaps right off. So I have 2 rolls of wood filament on the way of a quality that I do expect to be able to see and make use of. So I'm looking forward to do that, because I have a lot of projects that I can do with the wood filament, and none of them are train related. Got another message here, so I will oh, that wasn't supposed to be the name of the stream. See if that takes. How come it doesn't want to let me save? So the thing I want to talk about today is actually printing horses and what we can do with that. Where's my other... Oh, this one came up. Right? No, it... Now, all these descriptions are coming up wrong. And I wonder why. I set that up. My goal is to talk about printing horses today. And I've got some successful prints finally, which I'm quite happy about. And I've done them in a package called DAZ 3D, which we'll get into in a moment. I have to just... Well, that came up as the right name. So if I go back, I don't have these monitors set up right. There. Let's go back to a previous screen. Is it live now? Yes, here it is. Mute that. one more post to do, and then I can focus on what I'm wanting to have. I do my best to not do this while we're working on models. So where are we here? There, I'm back. Now I can focus on what's happening. What do we have? Well, I said the topic being printing horses. It's been a bit of a challenge to trying to get things set up so I can actually generate a model that's usable. I've been quite successful lately. The package that I use is DAZ 3D. So if I fire this up, we'll get DAZ Studio up. Now this is an animation package, and you can do the same stuff with Blender. I haven't seen as many models available within Blender. DAZ is another free package. It's out there. It's a commercial package. It's not an open source package. I'm quite crooked right now. Let's see if I can straighten that out some. It's an open. It's not an open source package. It has the. Come on. There. Okay. See if I can find out what's going on. I just had a hiccup with my internet feed, it looks like. But we're back on. And see where my products are. Where my horses go. Turn things off, try again. See if it'll log me in. So as I said, this is a free product. They have add-ons, of course, but their primary source of income comes from selling you models. And these models are, it's asking me to log in. That's why I have to go through this. You can get a very large collection of models that have been created for this. You do pay the artist for them. Once you have them, it all depends on the licensing for that particular model, what you can do with the model afterwards. I just have to find the name here because I forget my account name for DAZ. Normally you fire it up, it remembers, and you're up and running, but this is a new computer. I may not have run DAZ on this one yet. Well, obviously I haven't, because it's asking me to log in. Now, normally I try to have all this up and running beforehand. I had a 8 o'clock meeting this morning, and I am not alive at 8 o'clock in the morning normally. I wake up much later than that. Oh, there it is. Am I in? There we go. I can close that now. Here we go. Here's DAZ 3D. And as I mentioned, they make their money by selling you models. And there's a quite wide range. Genesis is where they start with human figures. But that's not what I'm working with. Let's see. What have we got here? We got land. Oh, I have to reinstall on here. That's what's going on. As I haven't used it. That's my horse. How come I can't load them? There we go. Here's our horse. This is our starting point for the horse. And as I said, this is a fully rigged animal. So fine animal. We even get a little bit of rib structure under there. Now, the way these horses work and these animals within a package like this, the tail and the mane are actually texture maps. Texture maps are something that we have no control over in order to where are things here? Print. We can't print the textures on there. We actually need a mesh model to work with. So that's something we have to ask or add. I just move my dashboard over to a different camera here. Hi, Bob. As usual, getting into doing things. Let's see. Where is my chat? Here. There. I can put this down so I can see what's going on. It's very nice having multiple monitors again. That's why trying to get used to working in here, my Studio B. So as I mentioned, and I've been dealing with this quite a bit, that is printing the horses. I've had some successful prints. I've had some unsuccessful prints. One of the areas you deal with is, if I zoom in here and one. If you notice, there's a mouth in here with teeth. That becomes a major issue when trying to print. And with all the rearranging, I don't know where my prints are. It's going to be nice. Now that I have the computer, I have all the hardware, I have the software, I have monitors. I'm missing one cable, but we're up and running that way. Then I'll be able to clear space and I'll have my 3D printer in here. Just bear with me. I'll go get the horse. I think I know where he is. Get the other camera in here and I'll be much better situated for things. Over here this. This is my horse. And as I said, there is, it actually came out quite nicely. The only thing is, I still have them over here. In O scale, since we're modeling OM30, the horse is smaller than the cow. And I thought I had the height right, so it's too short, so I have to work with that. One of the height settings you have to look at when you're doing a print like this, it's not the height of the back, it's the height of the model is the top of the ears. So the top of the ears are pretty much where the back should have been with the measurements. And so I have to make up for that difference in height. So I'll be experimenting with that. But where the mouth comes into play is when you get a model that has the mouth move some, that becomes a hollow. And what have you missed so far, Bob? You have missed me fighting with the system. Here, let's grab another screen here. Since I'm not working on my desk right now, I will see if I can add another model on here, and I can show you that's here, and okay, I will be able to show you what's going on with some of the models. Documents. Oh no. My dream is for a fully configured system. I'm just seeing if I get access to the drive that has the files that I need. And here's models, and nope, 3D printing. Oh, that's my workstation. That's me. So no, I can't see my network right now for some reason. Let's stop that. Okay, what happens is the lower jaw disappears when you do the print. As it is right now, this horse is fine. So if I were to actually do some movement on, let's see, I think we got the neck here. This is size, that's the shaping, here's the posing feature. So I wanted to do some rotation of the neck. So there's the pelvis, right thigh, chest, ears, tongue, and shoulder. How about the presets here? Poses, there we go. Just go with the grazing pose. Here it is. You can take a look at that. What I want to do, okay, the tail is down, which is fine. There is no mane. Because normally, if you add a mane, what happens is you just get a flat piece of modeling on here that the texture of the mane gets posted on or printed on. And so that's why there is no mane here at this point in time. But if I want to export the file, and we'll put it into 3D printing models, and we'll create a new folder for my horses. And this is a horse, June 21st, 2017. And what kind of output do I want? I want it to be an OBJ file. So now Where's all our settings here? I don't want to ignore things that are invisible. Otherwise, the only thing that gets exported is this side of the model, that which is visible with the camera we're using. Don't want it as groups. I do want the surface on there. Now, if I have this done right, I can get the file that I need. So this has been the challenge of exporting the actual model from this package. There are a number of problems with exporting rigged models, but by dealing with your export settings, you can change this. Yes, horses are how many hands there are, but okay, you think for the height there. Now, the problem is, Bob, is when you actually scale the model, and right now I can only scale it to a number I can see accurately within Simply 3D. I'm learning more about how to do that in Slicer, which I'm trying to keep using on here. But anyways, let's take a look, see if I got the settings right here. And that is exported. So we'll put DAS down and we'll bring over. Another thing I'm doing is been working with this turtle. And I had to put quite a bit of a brim on there. But, and I did clean up the tops. The problem is I printed this on my daughter's printer, and she has to go through, recalibrate it. The feet pretty much fell off. And there should be enough on there for the front feet to stay on. They join on at that point. So let's see. I'm good with this one, so I can go back in here. Now we'll go see if I can find my horse OneDrive. Okay. There's my horse model. And I got a feeling it's way, yeah, there he is. There's, oh, that's a preview. It's on there, sized. Now, butter scale. Let's make it 40%. I do this from time to time. I lose my model. It's there. How come I can't see it on the platter? Here. See if it gives me a preview. Okay, what settings are on here? There's some parameters. That's the shells. Skirt and brim. Brim width 3. Turn that to 0. Infill. This is all I had from the previous one. What filament do I have loaded up here? Straight PLA. Okay. It's not liking this. So I may have to find a different package here. Sometimes when you get an exported file, it just doesn't want to load. So let's see. Models, horses, cancel. Horse on its side. Now the important part is we can see it right from here. Even though it's a very complicated object, that we have a full object here and it has a cheek. So this works. This is Mesh Mixer, and if you're playing with models a lot, very worthwhile having. You get a nice model out of it. So there. And we'll go back to the horses. And let's try an STL on this. And this is I just leave that out of there. And we'll just put in here fixed. There. Save that. Now let's see what we got over here. See if that makes a difference. Oh, I'm still on preview. Why am I not getting the object on here? Of course, this only happens when you are going live. I don't need variable layers set up. Definitely is there, but it looks like scale is off quite a bit, and it's centered on here. Not there, not there. Go with normal. And set up. Elements. Just go Fruza PLA. Not going to play with settings on that right now. Now I found with the wood prints that I had a major challenge getting through things. And all I get is this a leftover from, let's see, where did I find that? I found a setting that I don't normally use, and I ended up setting variables on man, I hate doing this. I can get through this no problem as long as I'm not streaming. We got that on our printer's setting and all. Not doing anything there. There's our various extruders, which means we're set up for the multimedia. What is going on here? Well, let me try another solution to this and seeing if I can get it up and running that way. Where's my software screen? There we go. I do not have loaded onto this system my Simply 3D. It's to come. Turtles, turtles, turtles. Oh, I have a problem since I cannot see it here either. Ah, man. Okay, I got it as an import setting, control settings. Where is mesh mixer here? We fixed it. We've taken a look at it. We have a lot of tools within here we don't really need. And there's that jaw. It's been giving me so much problems. As you can see by this guy, the full head was on there. And that's what we're seeing here now. So what I am I want to do that for mesh. We just go through straight export STL. Let's play with the OBJ then. Now with this system, sometimes when you get that sort of vertice count, you do get problems, but I should not be getting that here. Well, those ribs show up very nicely on this shot. So let's try bring it in again. So And it can only bring in STLs. Who can bring in OBJ within my package on this system? It's a thing of setting up a new computer. I wonder. I haven't done much with this program yet. Come on. How come I can't grab that? I have now opened up ZBrush, and I have the turtle loaded in there. But now it doesn't want me to change screens on it. The joy of having a monitor for less than an hour. And there's the brush, alpha, file, light. See if this happens again. Where is it going to open? Monitor 1, monitor 2, monitor 3. There we go. We're making progress here. It does not want to change windows very easily. And we got that much. So I got this yesterday. And this is the full ZBrush core. And so I have a long learning curve. Both Brenna and I have our own copies now. Both of us have the Wacom tablets. Some of their pre-existing models will help with the model railroading. Gives us the basics to work with. You know, here, these mannequins, the people. I hope to be working on designing figures and printing the figures out. OBJs, so it'll take that. Documents, 3D printing, we got into the models, we have our horse. And let's use a... Okay, once again, the horse is here and it is complete. So I don't want to do any changes with it. At least not yet. And let's just take it in and sometimes this is all you have to do. And here's another one. Can I change its format? Nope. I have to change it to an STL and it won't do that. So this is not going to do what I want it. what can I use for working with this? Back to mesh. Oh, it crashed. That's interesting. So much to do, so much to learn, but we are making progress, believe it or not. Import. And horse is there again. And STL. Closing that out. File, reset, file, import. And we don't see it coming out. And where's the object? Unless it's there it is. In here all along. There we go. Scale. How about it's a matter of scale. That's why I couldn't find it before. Now, what I found I had to do, let's see, make sure I have the right axis. Nope. I had to do 2 rotations here. Let's see if it's 90. Yep. Okay. Belly up. There's my belly up horse. And then add the C. Okay, this contact with platter is okay. The other one I printed. Now this has a jaw. We can see it in the model. We'll wait to see the slice. But I had to do some rotation front to back. So, you know, the front shoulder and the rear here to get them on the platter. So they were an issue of dealing with getting it as much material onto the platter as possible. And it's doing place on bed, but sometimes you have to do rotation. So let's infill standard. We'll go with light, and we'll go with the detailed print done here. I'm going to do this in PLA. We will do generate on this one. And that's not going to work, so we're going to have to go back and support. I'll put in whatever supports it needs, and it's going to need a brim. The reason it needs a brim is you only have these 2 points of contact on the build plate. So that's not much at all. So you add the brim on there. So let's generate and see what we get for a preview. It's a huge, huge brim. So I wouldn't be too keen on doing that, but it didn't do the rest. But for me, the important part is this jaw is now showing. It hasn't disappeared. So that would be usable as a print, but with that such a wide brim on it, I don't know. Let's put that one away, and we'll put that down, and this is Autodesk. I can just shut out of here and say don't save. And what else do we have here for software to work from? Let's put Slicer back up and running. So Do I work with HO cars? Train cars, Bob? Oh, caboose. I've heard mixed reactions of printing them in HO with FDM printers. My modeling in O scale is pre-1910, which means everything's wood, so you can add the grain in there. You just take a look at the angle that you do the print on, so it can be faked in. That which you cannot hide becomes wood grain. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Bob. As I said, I haven't been doing it. There's a fellow on 3D printing for model trains on the Facebook page that has printed a lot of ore cars. So I don't know if he's been doing prints of that. But the way I would go about it is pop on to that Facebook page and put the question out if anybody has the caboose designs. And what you can take from there. Since I'm modeling basically a passenger tourist line, because it's pre-1910, so you don't have the air conditioning. So everybody that lived in the big eastern coast cities tried to spend some time out of the city. And so in my case, they're off to resort town, Camp Bruce, call it camp. It's a luxury hotel that is served. They get off the standard gauge trains and take the narrow gauge up to get to the hotel for them to spend their summer. So that and their caboose and the milk runs that go on the line and whatever supplies are needed. That's sort of stuff I have, and I actually have all my ON30 passenger cars. This is a Bachmann one. I haven't weathered it or lettered it yet, but I hope to. You can go buy figures for the passengers, but pre-1910 figures are few and far between. So my goal is to be able to print them and get them on board that way. And the other thing about that, when you get into printing people, with the horse model here, let's try adding this guy again. And we can see him this time. And that's why it's zooming in so big. So scale. That's why it was zooming in. I can zoom. Now, let's... oh, no. Rotate around the x-axis 90 degrees. Okay, there's my horse standing. Now I know what's going on. I feel much better. It was just coming in very small, so I have to take a look at that export. So we have the jawline again. The horse is bent down. Now, height of a horse would be measured from the ground to the top of the shoulder. I believe that is the proper way to measure a horse. So for now, this horse is 13.72 millimeters high. So this ruler doesn't help. It's telling me what O scale is. Do I have my yardstick in here? I have a wonderful yardstick. I don't think it's here. Story time again. When I was building my bench work for a previous layout, oh, I don't see it. I was always off by 1/8 of an inch. I couldn't figure that out. And I looked and I looked, and with the finally had a very close at the yardstick I was using. I was using two different types, two different yardsticks. I had one where I was building and one where I was cutting the wood. Turned out the one where I was measuring things, no, where I was cutting the wood, that one, at the very start, it didn't start at 0. It started at -1/8. They had an extra 1/8 of an inch at the beginning. So I'd measure it and go, okay, I need this to be 18 inches, and I would cut it and I'd take it back, and it was 18 inches and 1/8. And so I had to go back and cut and trim. Finally figured out, okay, big rule is use the same measuring item. Your tape measure, what have you, use it over there, bring it over to the saw, use the exact same one there. Then it will work. So I am saying that this guy is 13 inches high. That's way too big. So, no, that's not right. Hold on, where's my calipers? How about that? Will that help me? This one will help me. Okay, if it's 13 inches high, that's 5 inches. Just over 5 inches. We're looking at a horse, the average height of a horse, 16 hands to the top, you say there. A hand is 4 inches. Oh, come on, brain. So that's 3. So what's 16 times 4? That's the best way. Okay, 40, 64 inches. What's 64 inches? 60 inches. 5 feet. So, 5 feet here. Yeah, that's not right. Well, 5 feet is 1 1/4 inches high, which is 3.04 centimeters high. So that's be quite a bit smaller. Let's try 10. Seven. Yeah, 25.4 millimeters to an inch. So, doing the math here, I have no pen, no paper. I do have a calculator though. How about, what software do I have on here? Office is loaded, but it doesn't say where it is. OneNote, no. All right, let's just deal with this. So That's not right. That's clear. There we have our 64 inches for the height. Which is just over 5 feet. I'm looking at our horses. Yeah, okay. 5 to 6 feet. Be there. Let's make it a bigger horse. This is working. So the horse is 6 feet tall. 6 feet in O scale works out to being an inch and inch and a half is what you want. What's an inch and a half? Clear. And so yeah, 15 works out to 15 centimeters. That's, to me, way too tall. The height of the cow here, and you are looking down at cows, is 4 centimeters. So 40 millimeters. So the horse should be more along the lines of 60 millimeters. We'll give that a try. Our height here is 7.4, so I need to reduce the scale. There. That should work. Now, what do we have for print settings on here? We got layers, normal. Oh, before I do that, our friendly horse here, we have to turn belly up. And rotate, I think it's the x-axis, 90. Oh, 180. Another 90. There. Printing from the side might also work. Then you're just supporting the legs, but I find that was a bit of a challenge. However, this gives maximum contact to the back, and you don't have all the support for the belly. Now, the only problem with doing this is you normally have to have a thicker first layer on there, and it'd be nice to have the detail there instead. So, but we'll generate supports. Yes, you can go on. Do we need a raft for this? I think we're going to have 2-layer raft. Our filament, we're going with the PLA again. No major changes there. I'm not going to play with settings quite yet. We're going to do a slice and take a look at the preview of that slice. So we got problems. And you can see we have major problems with this. It's just too small. Let's go back here. Okay, let's change. Let's go back up. So it was what? That was 13. I said 15 at one point. Where'd the calculator go? Gone. Okay. Let's see. See, we're still way too coarse for the horse. And this is the problem I've been having. Right there. See the jaw? And the problem is coming from the jaw modeling in there, which is there so you can actually have the horse open its mouth. And there's not enough space in here, so this is where I'm going to have to play with the model some. I don't want to do any changes there. First layer height 0.2, we're going 0.15. That's just... We've still got problems. So I still have to work with the issue with the mouth on the model, because as you can see, they're 3D, it's there, it's modeled in. But because of the inside model, we have to take that out. So that's the challenge to work with. Now, the one thing I did within DAZ at one point was I went and tracked down the inside of the mouth, and I deleted it from the actual model. And that takes quite some time to work on. But then I was able to actually print out a copy with that jaw showing. So, and I've been doing all this without with the wrong screen up. I'll get there. I gotta look at what's going on. That's the joy of doing these live streams. You have to understand what's working and what isn't. So once again, dealing with the model, we'll have to get inside. Now, a lot of this you can do within Bender. Now that is an open source package. The only thing is I haven't seen very many rigged models out there that haven't cost a fortune. There are some models you can get that I've seen, not for horses, but for some other things, and it's like $125 to purchase the model, unless you can, if you have the skill set to make your own, which actually is doable. But the key thing to these models are they're rigged, and the rigging gives you the flexibility to move them up, down. I've got full body here. Action, landing, running. I took my glasses off again. Oh, we can try. Okay. So that's what's 100%. And as I say, it depends on the pose, because I wish I could load up the files. The other pose, the pose for, and now I don't know where I put them. Where's the cow? Where did I put the horse? Oh, there he is. For this guy, same file, just a different pose. So we were to come back in here and let's there. We got the bent neck for the stance. So and we'll call this one so wonder we have this, we don't need anything else. Done. The joy of a fast computer. That's see if they'll bring it in. See here? Oh, I want to preview. Easier. There. Oh, we got that scale issue somewhat looked after, so we have to still maybe 15. Yep. Okay. I won't even change his pose right now. I'll have him come in from here. Yeah, I'll just do that. And I'm just going to slice them just like that. What do we get? We get, see? There again, it's that model of the lower jaw that's the problem. So what I have to do for the mouth issue is remove the inside of the mouth. Now, one of the other things to point out with this stuff is once again, sorry about that. There's our horse. Brought him in, put him down, but once again, we're not getting the detail. Now, options are where do they have nozzle diameter? If I go to the 0.25 nozzle, and for the settings on here, and oh, we haven't done a slice now. There it is. Yeah, a little bit more detail there. Looks like he has buck teeth. But still, it's that lower jaw that is the issue. So once again, that's meaning we have to come in here and I have to go edit the model. They should have he's on there. I'm going to have to play within the program. So I can see that. I know I went in there and I think it was just a couple of clicks to hide that. That's the photo thing. Pelvis, right hind, right hand, abdomen, chest, neck, shoulder, elbow, foreleg, and the cannons down below. So what do you got? Oh, here we go. Here's the tongue. Is there more to the tongue? We just take out the whole tongue. Left eye, right eye. So I wonder if this turning that off makes a difference to the export. I gotta change how these monitors are set up. This is side look V. Save now. We're at 100% for the scale, which I want. Actually, I don't need a material library. I do need the surfaces. We do need the normals. Need to weld the bones. That was key here. If you don't do the weld bones, each of these segments are separate and you don't get a printable model. So we accept this. And now we'll, where are we? Wrong package. There we go. And our scale, I forget what it was, 30%. 15%. Yeah, I think that's still large. And nope, same problem. Have to rebuild the head so this is all one object as opposed to being broken into the two. Because it does get the detail. It gets the ears and the eyes, so it's not that thickness. It's the fact that that jaw is so thin. So that's what's going to have to happen to get that printable. And once again, my first pose, the head-on pose, worked fine. So that's the learning that I'm going to have to go through in order to start printing these models, especially for the trains, because being pre-1910, I need a ton of horses. And then there's all the people as well. So you can use slicer, yes. You cannot use Prusa control for it, at least not yet. But slicer and Cura, those would be the two main ones for the CR10. I haven't used the CR10 myself, but what do we have on here? You just have to find a preset for it, which should be available on the Slicer website itself, or on the CR10 page. You can ask for settings for it. I have not used Cura myself either, so I have to give Cura a try. But I'm much happier now. I have the workstation up and running. I have my Z-Core here installed as of last night. I have my monitors as of this morning. I have one more camera coming, and then things are getting ready to rock. The camera, my wide camera, I should be able to do this, and it does work. I have down here my Stream Deck that I'll be putting more to work when I can work from my bench, and I have to play with the camera angles on there. I think I have to use a different type of camera mount. I had one very basic. It just attaches to the lamp holder, and if the camera's just pointing straight ahead or side to side, it's fine. But I want this camera to tilt down more, so I can actually show you what I have going on my desk. Like, I'll have a close-up camera for that. But that is still work in progress. But we're getting there, day by day. The other aspect I have going on, yes, I have to match colors. I look kind of pale here, but there's no real light in this space. This is actually, the computers are set up in the closet. This used to be a bedroom. And then my workbench covers the rest of the area. But what I'll be doing is setting things up so you can actually see what's going on. And behind me, that's where my printer's going to end up. But I have work to do. And I was going to be involved with the project to create a makerspace. That is on hold for now due to funding issues. So what I'll move on to next is just settling in here. Guy wants me to make a Cuban style cigar roller, and I've seen a few pictures now that I've been asked, so we'll have to see what that's out of. And I'm going to be printing that in cedar, so that should be interesting. And then I have all the frogs I've been getting into. As I said, this one's Lazy Frog, made out of wood. I'm waiting for the other wood to show up because I'm not too certain about this product itself. We have that going on, and then I have a trap door to go down into my pit that's under the house. It's not a basement, but my hot water tank's there and the electrical panel's there, so I do have to open the trap door up from time to time. But that's where all our coats are stored. So what I want to do is put up a shelf, but the bracket has to be very narrow, so I can just lift the shelf out of the way and the trap door can still get by it. So the other day I was thinking, I know how to print that now. So I'm going to probably next week design that one and get it printing. and I'll use Fusion 360. And it's just another thing of getting this house in order. I actually got rid of about 4 boxes yesterday, so you can walk around the living room now. But you can't walk around this room. So that's coming up. There's no Friday night stream this week. The stream will be next Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and Nillabean's going to be hosting again. And we're going to continue on to our community outreach conversation. Several of us, after last Friday's stream, have gone and contacted our libraries to find out if they're interested in having us come and talk about 3D printing, show off what it's like and how it works. So that's going to happen for several of us. So more outreach, which will be a good thing to have. So in the meantime, I am going to wander off and look after the garden for a bit before I come back down here and remove that section from the horse so I can print that out. Oh, and I have to move my Simply 3D onto this computer. So I'll find out how they do that with their license changes and everything. But we're getting there. This is progress. No, be nice, because next time I don't have to run around looking for monitors, and cameras won't have to get rewired. And so I can just deal with this stuff without having to deal with technical issues. Anyways, I have updated my website a little bit, and that's zidim.com. As usual, I don't use Zidim 17 a whole lot. I think I'm going to change the graphic there, because where you find me is 3D printing for model trains on Facebook. I'm on Twitter there and on Patreon. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to make sure that you can see when I'm doing things. I have put out a short video looking at Prusa Control, and I hope to have more things coming out as I get settled in here and finally get things up and running. So I'm going to call it a day for now. It's been an hour and a half, and I'm trying to keep these closer to an hour. And, well, there's work to do on everything. So that's the joy I have the other channel, Songology, and we have to do some work on that as well. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Take care, guys, and we'll talk to you next week. Or I'll be on Sunday. Take care.